Recording and we'll get going. So we've got hips and shoulders today. As always, make sure you've got anything like a strap or your blocks or whatever you like for your extra support if you need it. And then let's all just find our comfortable seat. Oh my goodness, if you can be comfortable. I'm not so comfortable. So start by closing our eyes. Nice long spine. And if you're anything like me, you might be tipping forward a little bit. Imagine, or maybe even actually move your back up against the wall. Let's do that this morning. If you have a space that you can put your back on the wall, you might try that because it'll help you find just that right positioning. I often find myself leaning forward when I'm doing these like center seats. So if you have a wall, press your back up against it, sit up tall, and notice that your pelvis tucks a little bit, feel your sit bones into the ground. Let's place our palms down today. I think we might work a little bit of balance as well. So let's think about that connection to the ground. Sink into your floor or wherever you are. Lengthen through the crown of the head so that the body's sort of reaching in opposite directions. High and tall through the head, down low with the hips. Start to steady your breath. If you can, breathe in and out just through the nose. Relax your jaw and the space in between your eyes. Spread your shoulder blades wide across that wall too. If you're on it, see if you can relax in between your shoulder blades. And then bring your hands to your heart. There's a little space in between the palms, and if you'd like to set an intention for your practice this morning, now's the time. Breathe it in on the inhale. And a little bit deeper with your exhale. And then we'll move on to hands and knees. And we're going to start with just a little different cat and cow. So we're going to just do it more like a roll, right? So when you press up into your cat, you want to take that, kind of twist it out a little bit. But then maybe you're going to twist your hips to one side and let your head and neck roll. And make it more of a free form kind of movement. So you're still finding that cat and cow, but it's a more organic kind of shape that you're making with your body. And if you find any one spot that feels really nice, you can hang out there. You might even sort of wag your tail, right, in one direction, and you can look over. So if you stick your hips out to the right, you can take your gaze to the right, look behind you, and then maybe switch over to the other side. Find that stretch through the side body. And then while we're on our hands and knees, move the right palm directly under the face, lift up high with the left hand, and then let's thread the needle. So we're going to take that left arm through. And I like to rotate my palm so that my fingers are in front of my face. I'm using that arm as like a little prop. And my hips up high, pressing back. A nice stretch through the left shoulder and back body. And then on your next exhale, press up to the right hand and we'll switch sides. So the left hand comes underneath the face. Right arm reaches high, find that little bit of twist, and you're going to thread the right arm under the left. Rotate the left fingers so that they're facing you. Press into the left palm to get that twist and stretch through your right shoulder. On your next exhale, press into that palm. come up, and then we're gonna come flat onto our belly. Take one more shoulder stretch here. We've done this one a few times now. Take your right arm directly to the side so that it's out shaped kind of like a T, okay? And then we're gonna roll over onto the right side of our body. You can stay here if you want. I'm using my left hand. Again, sort of in that kickstand position. So I've got my arm in a 90-degree angle. And then if you want to take this stretch a little bit further, you're gonna take your left foot and plant it down behind you, your knees toward the ceiling. If you want to take it even a little bit further, you can lift your left arm up and then reach back behind you, like you're trying to find your right fingertips, like you might clasp your hands together. Something else that I've been doing, and I'm not super warmed up for this, but I'm gonna give it a go here, is staying in this position. And then I like to reach for my left ankle or my foot, and then extend the leg up towards the ceiling. So I'm getting a stretch in the leg, activating my core for balance, and still that nice stretch in my right shoulder. So just take it wherever you want to go. And then we're gonna come out of it slowly. So wherever you are, slowly make your way back onto your belly. And bring both arms down to your sides for a second. Just kind of sway your hips back and forth, shake that out. It's a big twist, big stretch. Then we'll switch sides. So the left arm comes out perpendicular to the body, and then you're going to start to roll over, open your chest to the right. Let your right palm push you in that direction. And then take that stretch into any variation that feels good for you. Go slowly, you don't want to push it too fast. Let your body open up. Wherever feels good for you this morning. I'm not able to grasp my hands together, but I can still squeeze my shoulder blades together to encourage that opening across the collarbone and still through that left shoulder. And then if you're interested, you can try that same leg stretch, core activation here on this side too. Take your right hand to your right. I'm just grabbing my ankle. And extend the right leg towards the ceiling. Kind of an awkward pose, but for some reason it feels really good to me. Opening up the hips and the shoulder at the same time. Then wherever you are, just gonna come out slowly, back onto the belly. And then let's shake that out. And then just real quick while we're down here, let's take a quick little bow pose. Bend the knees, feet towards the ceiling. You're gonna lift the chest and reach back for your ankles. So squeeze those shoulder blades together. We're gonna get a quad stretch and a back bend here. Kick into the hands and lift the quads and the chest off the ground. Just a couple breaths here. One more. And then release. Hands come down. We're gonna tuck the toes. Press up into our first down dog. Take a minute to walk your dog. I have on way too many clothes. So just pedal your feet. Stretch out to the backs of your legs. Feel the stretch in your shoulders. If one side feels tighter than the other, you can hang out there. You might even pause, then lift one leg. I'm going to lift my right foot, place my big toe and my second toe on either side of my left ankle at the Achilles heel. I'm going to use my right foot to press my left heel down. So I'm still lifting my hips, still pressing back to the shoulders, just getting a little extra push with my right foot to get my left heel down. And I'm going to switch sides. Lift my left foot, wrap my big toe and second toe around the Achilles heel of my right foot, And then use that foot to guide my heel down. And then you can release that. Let's take a wide down dog for just a second. So take your feet to the edges of your mat for a wide down dog. Let's get a little bit different stretch here. You can even move your hips back and forth. Start opening up through the hips. Full body stretch here. And then walk your feet back in. And we'll waddle walk those legs all the way up to the top. Oh my gosh, that feels so good in my arms when I do that. So let's find that forward fold. Start to relax any amount over your legs. You might be tight like me this morning. I'm stiff. Try to work through some of that. Let's take the hands, clasp at the low back, and then gently extend to the elbows. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and then start to bring them overhead. As much as feels good for you, stretch out those shoulders wide to the front body. And then release. Let's take the hands in the opposite cross. We'll just do that one more time. Rinse those shoulders out overhead. And then release the arms. And we're just going to bend the knees and roll up one vertebra at a time to come to standing. Hands to heart. Take a minute to center yourself. Close your eyes. Remember that intention that you set at the beginning of class. Breathe it in. And then take it even deeper on your exhale. Arms sweep out and up. Reach up. Really extend through that spine. Forward fold, flat back, all the way down. Halfway lift. And we'll take it nice and easy. Step back. Find that plank pose. Pause in your plank. Check it out. Make sure you've got your alignment correct with the wrists directly under the shoulders. Navel towards the spine, broad across the back. And then lower all the way down. Elbows graze the ribs. Lift up gently for cobra. Squeeze the elbows into the side body. Then release. Press back up through plank. And then hips lift. Down dog. Deep breath in and out. And take that wall walk again up to the top of the mat. Nice. And flat back forward, or excuse me, reverse swan dive. Hands lift. And then come to chest. Arms out and up. And forward fold. Halfway lift. Step back. Find that plank. And lower all the way down. This time, find your Sphinx pose. You'll just get a little bit more into that low back. So the forearms are parallel, directly out in front of you. Arms are bent at 90 degrees. Squeeze your glutes. Lift your kneecaps up off the ground. Press your hip bones into the mat. And then release. Tuck the toes. Bring your hands back and push back up into plank. Then down dog. Last time for that waddle walk in. Forward fold. Arms out and up. Reach up. Hands to heart. This time, if you're ready for those jump backs and up dogs, feel free. If not, stay at the low impact version. Whatever feels right for you. Remember, if you're doing those chaturangas, jumping back to land with bent arms in plank. Find down dog. Deep breath in and out. Plant the toes. If you're jumping, jump to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Arms out and up. Reach up. Hands to heart. Arms up. Flat back. Forward fold. We'll do this 2 more times. Plant those palms. Move through your vinyasa. And down dog. Deep breath in and out. Make your way to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Arms out and up. And hands to heart. Last time. Reach up. Then forward fold. Halfway lift. And find your flow. Down dog. Let's have 3 big breaths here. In and out. Really work your dog. Hips lift. Heels down. Pulling in opposite directions. Plant the toes. Bend the knees. Come to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Arms out and up. Hands to heart. Pause. Close your eyes. Recenter yourself. Couple breaths here. Arms out and up. Surya Namaskar B. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Find that flow. Meet in down dog. Right leg lifts. Bend and spin your hip open. Extend the right leg long. And let's step it through in between the hands. This low runner's lunge right now. Just hang out here for a second. Feel that strength in your legs. Take your right hip. Make sure it's pulled back. More back than forwards. And plant that left hand. We'll take a little twist here. Open your body towards the right. Then hand comes down. Bring your left foot forward. And I want you to see if you can come up into a balance here, okay? So we've stepped the left foot forward. We're going to put our weight into the left foot. And I just want you to rise up. Bring your right knee up to your chest for Apanasana. You can roll out your ankle if you want to. Make sure you get both directions. We'll stretch for that right hip flexor here, a little bit different stretch than what we normally do. Then we're going to step the right foot back down, transfer your weight. Left foot comes back into that lunge. And then we're going to come into pyramid pose. So nose to the knee, straight legs. Think about squaring your hips. One more breath here. Then bend the knee, plant the hands, step back, move through your flow. Meet in down dog. Left leg lifts. Bend and spin that hip open. Extend the left leg long and step it through. Work this runner's lunge here. Make sure your left hip is pulling back. If you want, you can even make a manual adjustment. Take your left fingertips towards your left hip, right in that crease, and pull it back. See if you notice a difference there. Then plant the right palm down. Open your chest towards the left. Find that twist. And then hand comes down. We're going to find the balance on the opposite side. So we're going to bring that right foot in. Transfer your weight so that now your weight is in your right foot. And then we're going to rise on one foot, steady, steady, and bring the left thigh into the chest. Apanasana. Can rotate through that ankle. Rotate the opposite way. And then from here, we're going to place the foot back down. Transfer that weight. Step back into the lunge. And then extend through both legs for pyramid pose. Couple breaths here. I'm going to try to stretch those hips in all directions today. Work on balance a bit. And now bend the front knee, plant the palms, step back, and move through your flow. Hips lift, down dog. High on the toes, bend the knees. Make your way to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Arms out and up, reach up. Hands to heart. Arms lift, flat back, all the way down. Halfway lift, and move through your vinyasa. Knee and down dog. Right leg lifts, bend and spin that hip open. Extend through the right leg, and step it through. Now from here, reach forward with the arms, and then let's just take them back behind. You can put your hands in prayer if you like. So we're up in a high lunge, stretching out through the shoulders and the triceps. Squeeze your arms into your head like you're going to kiss your elbows together. Nice. Now, reach forward again. We're going to put our weight into our right foot, but we're going to find that balance again. Bring the knee up. This time, I want you to cross your leg over and squat down like a figure four. So we're stretching out to the side hip. Weight in the right foot. Flex your left foot. Make sure that your leg is crossed over your thigh, not at your knee. Kind of like a one-legged chair pose too, right? Now from here, see if you can just fold over the leg. You're still balanced. Right knee is bent. We're just working that hip stretch a little bit more. Now place your fingertips down, and if it's available to you, you can bend, work your arms around that foot, and squat down. So you're on one foot, you're on your toe. High on that right toe. And then if you really want to try something hard, you can try to find your balance. Woo! I don't know if I can do it. Ah! And then we're gonna come back up. So extend. Actually, you're gonna want to put your hands in front of you. And then extend through that right leg. Release the left leg. Step it just right down into a forward fold. Then we'll reverse lift, rise, all the way up. Hands to heart. Reach out and up. Forward fold. Find that vinyasa. And down dog. Left leg lifts. Bend and spin your hip over. Extend the left leg. Bring it through. We're going to reach forward with the hands. Find that high lunge. And then lift to the chest. Again, take those hands back to the shoulder blades, or in prayer, squeeze your elbows in. Release. Weight comes forward into the left foot, chest is over the left thigh, and then rise up. Bring your right leg with you, and you're going to cross it over at the left thigh. Hips sit back for a figure four stretch. Bend the standing leg, work your balance. You can do it. If you fall out, that's totally normal. You just get right back in. Now think about folding over that leg. You can keep your hands sort of in prayer. You can bring them out wide. And then if it's available to you, you can try to find that squat again. Gotta kind of maneuver yourself a little bit to find that. High on the toe. If you want to play with that balance again, feel free. If not, maneuver your hands so they're out in front just a little bit, and then rise back up, fold over, Release the right foot, forward fold. And then reverse lift, rise all the way up. Hands to heart. Arms out and up. Flat back, forward fold. Halfway lift. Find your vinyasa. Down dog. Right leg lifts. Bend and spin that hip open. Press the left heel down. Right leg extends. And we'll step it through in between the hands. Let's rotate the back foot down. Rise up for warrior two. Pause in your warrior two. Feel the opening in the front of your hips here. Then we'll reach forward and arch back open to the side body. And then forward. Side angle. Do that 2 more times. Arch back. And forward. 1 more time back. And forward. Now from here, if you want that extra little shoulder opening, rainbow that left arm back behind you for a bind. You can take your hand to the top of your right thigh. Open up to the left shoulder, to the front of the chest. And then release the bind, arm comes up, extend through that right leg for triangle pose. Really think about reaching behind you, or I guess to your left with your hip, and to your right with your head. Nice extension. And from here, we're gonna move into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. If you have your block, I don't think I've ever demoed this with the block. So I'll show you. You can grab your block and put it in front of you. When we go into half moon, we really just kind of go for it. Sorry, we're in triangle pose. So we start to think about putting our weight into that right foot and then just go for it. Lift the back leg. So you have open hips here. And if you have your block, you can put your hand on there. Provide some nice stability. Open up to those hips. Woo. Maybe you bend your knee and reach for that ankle. Kick back into that hand. If you have that bind, release. Back into half moon. And then we're going to so gracefully tip our foot back down to the ground for warrior two. Then let's just come right back up. Center, rotate the feet so that the toes are in front of you. Find star pose. Then we'll take a nice wide leg forward fold. Fold over those legs, any amount. Find your breath. Those balance poses are challenging. And then from here, let's walk over to the right. I'm going to grab my right ankle with my left hand, find a little bit of a twist. Pull my chest and my nose towards my right knee. You can even take your right arm high if you want, or you can sort of wrap it around your back like sort of a loose bind, I guess. Whatever feels good for you. And then while we're here, let's bend that right knee. So I've got my chest over towards my right knee. Just finding a little bit deeper stretch in those hips. Then extend the leg and release. Walk the hands back to the middle for a second. Just hang out here. Then we're going to reverse. Walk the right hand to grab the left ankle. Pull your chest and your nose towards the left knee. You can lift your left hand up behind you towards the ceiling, or you can let it rest on your back. And then bend the left knee. Bring the chest towards that thigh. Strong in the legs, lots of effort in those legs. And then extend. One more time back into that forward fold. Nice. And then lift onto the hands, so you're sort of in that flat back position, right? Then take your hands to your hips. We're just gonna lift all the way back up, straight. Let's move over to the opposite side. So we'll rotate the left toes to the left, right toes still pointed in front, sink down for warrior two. Find your warrior two. And we're gonna reach forward and arch back. Now open up to the left side body. And then forward, side angle pose. Really feel that stretch here in the front of your right hip. Those hip flexors, get a nice stretch here. And then reverse. And over. One more time. Reach back. And over. If you like that bind, take your right arm back behind, reach for the top of your right thigh. Maybe you're reaching for your shirt, maybe your pants, whatever you got. Maybe you've got a strap. If you're in the bind, release the arm and then extend the left leg long for triangle pose. On this side, we reach our head towards the left, hips towards the right. Think about bringing your torso parallel to the ground. So it's not like an arch, not like a rainbow. We're really relaxing that shoulder, opening through the chest. Start to come down towards the left thigh. If you used your block on the last side and you like that, I should have had you set yourself up for that first. But we're gonna go for that Ardha Chandrasana, half moon on the left side. So if you want your block, get yourself set up. If not, let's just dive in. Woo, so left foot, weight into that left foot, right leg opens. So your hips are open here in half moon. If you want extra support and you don't have your block, you can reach down towards the ground. So we're strengthening and stretching those hips and legs here. If you like that bind, you can bend the top leg, reach for the top of your right foot with your right hand, stretch out to the right quad. If you have the bind, release, and then gently, gently, gently step back down, warrior two. Windmill the arms over, step back, and move into your vinyasa. Hips lift, down dog. Big breath in and out. High on the toes, bend the knees, come to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Arms lift out and up. Reach up, hands to heart. Arms out and up. Flat back. Forward fold all the way down. Halfway lift. And move through your flow. Down dog. Right leg lifts. Bend and spin that hip open. Extend the right leg. Step it through. This time, let's rise up into the high lunge, but take your arms behind you and try to reach for opposite elbows. Another stretch for those shoulders, chest. And then we're going to take that pyramid pose again with the arms bound. So keep your arms where they are and then start to lower the chest flat down as far as you can over the front right leg. And then you can release the head and neck down. If you can keep your arms bound like this, go for it. If you need to release, that's fine. Now release the hands. We're going to find one more balanced pose here. Start to bend the front knee. We're going to put our weight into the right foot. Rise up. We're in Apanasana again, really, just to find that balance, okay, like a little loose one. But we're going to move into eagle pose. Eagle pose, we bend the standing leg, cross the left leg over. You can cross it over the thigh, and then if it's available to you, try to cross that back foot around your calf. And then the arms come out in front. Cross your right arm over the left like an X. Bend the elbows, clap the hands. Sink down with your hips. Eagle pose. Find your steadiness. Find your breath. Take your elbows down to the knee. Don't let it go yet. Then lift the chest back up. Unwind. Arms reach up. And forward fold. Halfway lift. Move through your vinyasa. Down dog. Left leg lifts. Bend and spin the hip. Extend through the left leg. Step forward. And we'll come up again, high lunge. If you remember how you did your cross before, see if you can switch. It's a little challenging. Your arms behind you. Stay low in the legs, reaching for those opposite elbows, broadening across the chest. Then hop, step that back foot forward just a bit, extend the front leg long, and you're gonna fold over your front leg with a flat back. Stretch through the back, that left hamstring, still broadening across the shoulders. And then release the chest. Try to maintain that bind if it's available to you. Maybe you have a strap that you're grasping in between your hands instead. That works too. Release the hands. We're going to put our weight into the left foot now. Rise up into Apanasana to start with. Find your balance. And then let's cross the right leg over the left thigh. Make sure your left leg is bent. If it's available to you, go for that double bind. Wrap your foot around the back of your left calf. Arms come straight out. This time cross the left over. Bend the arms. Clap the hands together. Feel the stretch in your shoulders. Different kind of stretch in your hips. And then again, try to take that little bend. Bring your chest forward. And then back up. Unwind, arms up, reach up. Hands come down. Last little flow here, halfway lift. Find your vinyasa. Press back, down dog. 3 breaths in down dog. You can make an audible exhale. It's a lot of effort. Those balanced postures take a lot of mental and physical effort. And just lower the knees. And sit back in child's pose. You can take your arms wherever you like. I'll offer you a few variations. You can keep them out long and feel that stretch in your lats. You can bend at the elbow and bring your hands into prayer back behind your neck. Stretch out your triceps a little bit. You can also just take them back behind you, palms up, and let your arms completely relax. This is probably my favorite child's pose. Now, wherever you are, make sure your hands are out in front of you, and we're going to sit our hips over to the right. Walk the arms over to the left. Stretch for the right hip, right side body. With every exhale, sink a little bit deeper into that stretch. And then walk the hands across, opposite side, and move those hips over to the left. Stretch to the left side body. One more big breath in and out. And then back to center. Come up on all fours and then swing around. And we'll find Baddha Konasana. Hi, how's everybody? That was really hard. Woo, feels nice to sit down now. Now we'll move into our static stretches. So we'll start with Baddha Konasana again. If you need your props to put under your knees, you can do that. You can also put it out in front of you to rest your forehead. Whatever feels right for you today. Wherever you are, take a moment to open up through the bottoms of your feet. And in order to do that, you really got to press your knees down and rotate your hips under you. So you're working that external rotation. You're actively rotating your hips, pressing your knees down. Now you see I'm not pushing with my arms, I'm letting my hips do the work. And then lift up nice and tall through the chest, and then fold over. Start with that flat back if you can. And then when you're ready, you can release the head and neck. If you have your block, you can rest your forehead on it. Make it really passive stretch. Sometimes I think I'm more flexible than I am. And sometimes, well, always really, any opening takes time, right? You can even just sit down and like listen to a podcast like this if you really wanted to. You can work any stretch for a long period of time, honestly, if you have the right kind of support. So if there's something that you're working on or if certain areas feel tight, try to make the stretch feel accessible and comfortable, and maybe you can just hang out in it for a little bit. And if you have your block, let's move that out of the way, and we'll come out the same way we went in with that flat back. Nice. And then let's do our fire log pose. So we're gonna take the left, I always start with my left foot, I think, but my left leg, my shin, I'm gonna try to make parallel to the front of my mat. And then I'm going to take my right leg and cross it on top. I'm gonna try to have it be parallel to the mat as well. So I'm trying to sit on both hips, right? Shins parallel, chest nice and tall, and then I'm going to fold over as far as I can. You'll notice that your knees will just start to come down, right? If this pose hurts your knees, you don't have to push it that far. You know, play with it a little bit, maybe open it up. You don't want to put too much pressure. And if you have that block again, you can fold forward, rest your head on it. Let those hips open up. I sort of feel it like on the sides and the underside as well. We're really trying to work those hips in 360 degrees today. Lots of strengthening and stretching. One more breath here. Then we'll release. You can relax the legs and maybe just windshield wiper them from side to side. Let your hips relax just a little bit. And then we'll switch sides. So this time the right leg is going to be on the bottom. Have it be parallel to the edge of your mat as much as you can. Then you're going to cross the left leg on top. Find that seat, feeling rooted into the ground. If you have your block, or maybe you have a pillow or whatever you have, if you want that, you can place that in front of you and then begin to fold over your legs. And find any sort of relaxation in the pose that you can. You might have to make little adjustments in how your hips or knees or legs are. Just try to find some kind of ease. If your shoulders are in your ears, let them come down. If you're clenching your jaw, let go of that. Try to bring your breath into the tight spaces. Making your body more tight won't help. One more breath here. And then if you have a prop, let's move that out of the way. And we'll take our wide leg forward fold. So come with those, with your feet out towards the sides of your mat. With that rotation like we've done before. So we're gonna take toes first, straight up to the ceiling. And then think about bringing your toes back behind you. Work on that external rotation of your hip. You're not using your ankles to turn your feet. That's not gonna work. You're gonna use your hips. So you're gonna think about rolling your hips underneath you to point those toes back behind. And then think about rotating from the hips, bringing your toes forward. Try to keep your ankles still. So it's like if you had your arm, you'd be rotating from the shoulder, not from your wrist, right? So think about that with your legs. Now rotate behind, activate those hip muscles to make this action. And then rotate forward. And then back to center, toes pointed directly up. And then begin to walk yourself forward any amount. If you have that prop, you might want it. Just fold forward, melt down into the ground. I'm not doing so much melting today. Ooh, I'm gonna take my block up to level 3. That feels better. Every day is different with flexibility too, right? It can depend on lots of things, you know, maybe how hydrated you are or how rested you are, or sometimes the weather, if it's cold or hot. Our bodies are different every day. Sometimes it's hard to be respectful of that, you know, we want to push. But let's not do that today. Let's listen and just work where we are. One more breath here. And then release, come back up, and we'll stretch out to the side. Check our time here, okay? So we're gonna take the left arm over and reach for those right toes. And try to look under your left arm. That nice stretch in the back of the right leg. And the left side body. And then from here, just rotate the chest. Bring your right arm to the toes. It's like you're working more of a forward fold here, just on the right side. And then resist the temptation to come up, but instead come forward. Stay low, walk yourself around to the opposite side. This time, let's start with the both hands on the left foot. So more of that square stretch, nose towards the knee. Breathe into the back of your legs, or wherever you feel particular tightness, maybe you feel more in your hips. My hamstrings always talk to me. And from here, we're just gonna rotate the chest. Oh, it helps if I use that voice. So you're looking under the right arm. Stretch to the right side body. And then we'll reach past the toes and straight up. We'll move it into frog, quick frog, and then one more shoulder stretch. So you want to move onto your knees here, okay? So we've done this before. We're going to take the knees and start to spread them wide, okay? And then my legs are at like 90-degree angles, okay? And then I'm going to try to bring my chest down. At the same time, I'm pushing my hips back. So I'm trying to maintain that right angle of my legs. So just another direction of opening up the hips. It's the inside. And with each exhale, see if you can just open up a little bit more. Sink down. Two more breaths here. Now place the hands under you first and push with your hands to come up. And then gently just sort of pull your knees back in towards the center and sit back. One shoulder stretch here, and then we will find Shavasana. And we've done this one before as well. What we're going to do is make this sort of like cross T with our arms. So we're going to come onto the belly. Take the right arm. We're just going to kind of walk it around so it's pointing directly to the left. And you're going to take the left arm over the right arm, walk it over so it's pointing towards the right. So we've made this sort of like a little cradle for your chin. You're just going to place your head there. Feel that stretch in the shoulders. You can let your hips unwind here too. Maybe just take a little hip wiggle. I've been trying to work my shoulder stretches so much. I'm finding a lot of benefit in it. One more breath on this side. And then we'll unwind by walking the left arm over to the left and the right arm over to the right. Now we'll cross the opposite direction. So we have the right, what do we have on top? I think the left arm on top. Yeah, okay. So now we're gonna have the right arm on top. So left arm is gonna walk over to the right, and then right arm walks over to the left. And then rest your chin into that little cradle. Ooh, boy, this is much tougher on this side for me. I don't know about you guys. I keep wanting to squeeze like my legs. I'm gonna try to relax. Take my own advice that adding extra tension is not going to help the stretch. One more breath here. And then begin to gently uncross your arms and find your way onto your back for Shavasana. And you can take whatever Shavasana feels good for you. Maybe you want to place the block across the shoulder blades to open up through the front body. Keep working on a little bit of that shoulder stretch. I put my sock on upside down. I'm going to put my socks on while you guys get settled into your version of Shavasana. Settle in. Start to find some kind of stillness. You don't need to think about the rest of your day or your plans or your grocery list or whatever it is. Relax into the ground. Take any tension out of your shoulder blades. And just let your body surrender into your final pose. Start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Make a decision about whether you're going to stay in Shavasana or roll over onto your side to eventually find a seat. Whatever you choose is just right for your practice. And then if you're coming up to a seat, start to make your way there now. If you liked having the feeling of your back against the wall, you might quietly and carefully move back over into that position. And just feel that support at your back. Let's bring our hands to our chest. Bring that intention back to your heart. And I thank each of you for practicing with me this morning. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Namaste. And you can unmute yourselves whenever you're ready.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Thanks, you too.
Thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome. Ooh, I thought that was hard.
Yeah, I can feel it. See ya.
Oops.